Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today we are talking about different scales on the tongue drum. And this can sound a little complicated at first, but I promise you I'm going to try and explain it in a way that you will be able to understand. Okay, so here we go. A lot of drums come in different scales, as you've probably noticed, especially some of the higher end companies like Gouda. I have a Gouda Frisbee here, and this only has 8 tones on it, which is quite different from a lot of the mass-produced models coming out of China. They'll have 12, 14, 15 tones on them, which can be really awesome if you're looking to play a wider range of music. But these drums are particularly good for improvising because you're only able to see tones that will sound mostly good together, and it's just a little bit easier to find things that sound nice. But the limitation of these drums is that unless they are magnetic, or if you're not able to get into it, like this Gouda is closed on the bottom so you can't get under the tongues at all, you're not able to tune them to different scales. So that can be kind of disappointing if you'd like to play other kinds of music. So I am going to teach you how, with a tongue drum with 12 or 14 or 15 notes on it, you are able to find and play all sorts of the different scales that are on the high-end tongue drum models. Okay, so I'm going to start with my Gouda Frisbee, for example. The Gouda is in the Arcane scale, and this basically is an A minor scale that's missing a couple notes. So what that Arcane scale sounds like is and you can kind of hear that minor flavor in there. So the only difference between the Arcane scale and a regular minor scale is this one does not have the second scale degree on it. So it goes A, no B, C, D, E, F, G, A, and again no B, and a C. So if you wanted to replicate that on your, say, 12, 14, or 15 note tongue drum, the way you would do that is through this music theory idea that we call modes. Now again, these are going to sound really complicated right off the bat, so I am just going to walk you through it in a way that I really think is going to be pretty easy to understand. So we're going to start with that Arcane scale. That's based off of an A minor scale, which sounds very different than a C major scale. Now, if you have one of those mass-produced drums that has numbers on it, I'm going to make this so easy for you to be able to find that Arcane scale instead of the C major scale that you're used to. So, you've got your C major scale. You've got your big tongue drum. On your big tongue drum, a C major scale starts with the number 1, and then on up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, 1, the higher 1. That's your C major scale. Now here's the magic part. If you want to play a minor scale, you just have to start on a different scale degree, a different number. So the minor mode is called Aeolian, and that is on the 6th scale degree of C major. So if we start on number 6, it's going to sound like an A major scale. Let's try it. So we start on number 6, we go 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how that's the minor scale? Alright, now if we want to play the Arcane scale just exactly like on the Gouda drum, all we have to do is leave out the second scale degree, which was number 7, since we started on number 6. So let's go ahead and give that a try. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 6. That is the Arcane scale, exactly like the Gouda Frisbee. So not only are you able to play all those awesome like compositions like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, and you know, all the songs you can play on your tongue drum. Now you can also learn how to do these neat improvisational scales. So here is an example of some Aeolian minor improv. I'm going to start on the 6. And hopefully you could kind of see how I was revolving around that 6 right here. And that is really what makes it sound really minor. So I'm going to teach you a couple more modes that are going to sound really, really neat. A great way to think about how to play these modes is when you're playing from a C major song. In that song you see a lot of 1s and a lot of 5s, right? Because those are kind of the tones that the whole scale revolves around. That's what you're going to see a lot of and what you're going to use a lot. So just think about if you are trying to use a different scale, like say the minor scale, you want your melody, your improvisation to revolve around the 1st degree of that scale, which is of course going to be number 6. And you also want it to throw in some of the 5th degree of that scale to kind of give it some tension. And the 5th degree of that scale is going to be number 3. So when you're playing a song in what you want to be a minor key, you want to revolve a lot of your improvisation around the number 6 and the number 3. And then you're going to get some really cool sounds. Now, if you're new to this, very, very new to music, and you don't really know which sounds go nicely together, you can do that minor scale revolving around the 6 and the 3. And then if you leave out the number 7, just like Gouda does for their Arcane scale, you're going to get some notes that sound really nicely and harmoniously together. Just totally skip number 7. Okay, so that's just one mode. That's the minor mode, Aeolian mode, whatever you want to call it. But there are actually 7 modes. So you can get a lot of really cool sounds coming out. The next one I want to tell you about is Dorian. And this is just a slight change from the C major scale, D Dorian. Dorian is considered a minor mode. It's going to sound a little bit more melancholy than your regular C major scale, but not quite as melancholy as the actual minor scale. And you'll see why in a minute. Let me play Dorian for you, and I'm just going to go ahead and say the numbers as I play it so you can kind of follow along at home. For Dorian, we start on number 2, and we want everything that we play to revolve around the numbers 2 and 6. So here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. See how that sounds? It's melancholy, but it also has kind of that brighter note in the middle. So you can absolutely improvise on that Dorian scale, kind of sit around the number 2. And you can do some really cool things with that. I'm going to have another video coming out either next week or in a couple weeks that goes really in depth on the Dorian mode. And we'll give you some neat notes that you can leave out and some neat notes to put in that will make it sound really, really cool. But next, let's do the last minor mode. There's only 3 minor modes. There's the regular minor, Aeolian, then Dorian, and then Phrygian. Okay, Phrygian as a mode starts on the number 3. and the fifth in that scale is the number 1. So you're going to kind of want to revolve around the number 3 and the number 1 when you're trying to improvise on a Phrygian scale. So let me play that for you, how that sounds. And I'm going to call out the numbers again. So here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. That sound neat. That note, especially at the end, that half step between the 4 and the 3, it makes for some really, really cool improvisation. But if you practice, you will definitely find the notes that sound good together in that scale. And again, if you just revolve around the 3 and the 1, you're gonna sound really nice. So next we're gonna get into the major modes. And the first one is easy, you already know it. It's called Ionian, but it's also known as the C major scale. Super easy. You just start on number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Major scale. That's basically what everybody thinks about when they think about a scale in music. That one's easy. You revolve around the 1 and the 5 if you're improvising in that. And if you want to leave out the scale degrees 4 and 7, then you'll be doing only harmonious things and you'll have no dissonance and it will just sound gorgeous no matter what you do. The next mode is Lydian. This one sounds pretty interesting. It's not one that you hear a lot, but it is cool. And it starts on the 4th scale degree. So we start at number 4. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. So with that one, if you revolve around primarily the note 4, because that's of course your tonic in that mode, if you revolve around the 4 and the 2, for the most part you're going to get a very Lydian sounding improvisation. And a Lydian sounding improvisation is probably going to sound kind of strange to you because it is not a mode that you hear used a lot. So if you want to go for something strange and unique, Lydian is a cool choice. And our next mode is Mixolydian. You actually see this a lot with tongue drum makers. A lot of them will use Mixolydian. It is a really bright scale. It just sounds really happy and a lot of fun. I actually recently ordered a Cosmos Sky drum, which I'm very excited to have come in. And it's two-sided, and one of the sides is in Mixolydian because I love this scale so much. I think it's a gorgeous, gorgeous mode. So Mixolydian is pretty easy. Mixolydian starts on the 5, the 5th scale degree. And if you revolve around the 5 and the 3, you're going to get a neat sounding improvisation. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that one. So this one goes 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that sounds really neat. It's a pretty bright scale. It's very happy. I like Mixolydian a lot. Okay, there is one more mode. This is not one that you're going to play a lot or that you're going to hear very often. It's called the Diminished mode because it's the only mode that is based on a diminished fifth, which if you're not a music theory nerd, don't worry. Basically, it just means it sounds strange to our ears. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you, and you can kind of hear the Locrian mode starts on the number 7. Feels like it's hanging at the end there. It's very interesting. If you do want to play something in the Locrian scale, you're going to want to revolve around the 7th scale degree and the 4th scale degree. And you can improv around there, and it's going to sound kind of strange, almost like a horror movie maybe, which I know is not what a lot of people come to the tongue drum for, but if you're really looking for a strange, unique sound, Locrian could be the mode that you want to go with. Okay, so that is my basic intro to modes. Hopefully it wasn't super overly complicated, and now you have some idea of how to really play with some different scales and with some different improvisations. Something that's really going to help is if you just remember to kind of revolve all of your notes around that one main note that is the main of your node. Of your mode, I'm sorry, then that is going to help you sound most like you were actually in that mode, and not like you're just playing a C major scale in a weird order. Because that's basically what modes are. We're playing the C major scale just in a weird order, but depending on which notes you emphasize and which notes you keep coming back to, it's going to sound a little bit different. So I'm going to give you a few examples, and then go out and try it. I will be posting a few more videos in the upcoming weeks that go really in depth on the modes, and notes you can leave out and notes you can add in, and how to really utilize the scales that you see on a lot of tongue drum websites. But for now, definitely experiment with this, give it a try, because that's what a lot of people enjoy about the tongue drum. It's so easy to just kind of experiment and mess around and still sound kind of cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions at all about modes or how to use them, or want to just tell me how confusing this was, go ahead and leave me a comment down in the comment section, and I will be happy to try to clear things up for you. And also, if you would like to join my Patreon, the link is also down in the description below. I am going to be posting in a couple of days basically a fact sheet that will give you a visual reference, as well as me just telling you for how these modes can be used. So thank you guys again for watching, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day. Hello everybody, and thank you so much for watching my channel. If you want to click the subscribe button right up there, then you can subscribe to my channel and see all my new videos. And if you would like to check out my Patreon, the link is down there in the description. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful day.